Can we start a pivot table now?
Yes, sir.
See, this is the today we discuss about the pivot tables. So basically, pivot table is a summary. Okay. So this summary can be done through formulas and pivot tables also. So what pivot table is? So system and Excel we have an option to summarize the data with the aggregations options. So pivot table will not do any other calculations. Customized calculation cannot do, but say aggregations will do in this pivot table. Okay. So we have the huge data. Suppose if you want to summarize, we can through pivot tables we can do the summarization analysis. We can do it rather than using the formulas. So one more thing, this pivot table will not take much space compared to formulas. But so pivot table will not give the calculations what we want. So it is a predefined summary. So we can make use of it to the extent possible. Else we need to use the dependent formulas. Okay. So the pivot table, we need to we can do the summarization data. So especially see, suppose this is data we have sample data. Okay. So this is sample data. Just saying that we cannot do anything, right? So because see month is there. So this is the data, all right? So 1 year data is there. We got the sales people are there. The region is there, and the products we are doing business that is there. There's the number of customers, net sales, profit loss, everything is there, right? But when one view, how can you do it? We cannot do it in one view. Can do anything. So for that we need to you as for till now we use the formulas, but so instead of formulas, we have the options for the summarization also based on the requirement. Through pivot table, you can do the summarization. So for this, we need certain conditions there in the pivot table. We need to remember well. Very otherwise, pivot table will not help. Okay, so pivot table is a summarization. So we need to do the summarization, then only we can do the analysis. Then auto aggregations means what are the aggregation formulas are there in this built in, so we can you make use of it. Okay. Then for this data, most important thing is data should not have blank headers. So which means this is the data. I need to take the pivot table. The header I need to have what is the column information. Suppose there is like date, sales manager and all that. So in this, you should not have any blank header. This is must. Suppose even after creation, if you delete by mistake, then afterwards when you refresh the pivot table, it will not work. So that is the thing. This is a very important thing. Then cells should not have merge cells. Means the data should not have merge cells in the headers, especially. But suppose if I have the data in between the data, right? We can have the merge, but we don't. A pivot table will ignore this row. Merger cells, pivot table ignore. Yeah. So this very important things. Then once newly created table, we get exact report as it is. Now, suppose if you change the data, that data will not reflect in the pivot table automatically. We need to have fresh the refresh button. Then only it will work. Please note this. These are the important points. That's why otherwise you will get escalations. Okay. Now people update that source data, but forget to refresh the pivot table. Due to that, data will not refresh, actual data will not come. Whatever the data we have the previous refresh, that data only will continue. But to avoid this, we have the one from option called auto refresh. Auto refresh. Okay, auto refresh there, but for that we need to modify the pivot table. We'll see that. But the auto refresh immediately it will not refresh. When you close the file, save and close the file, then next time when you open, it will refresh. So instead of set the option, immediately you don't see the new values, updated values. When you close and open, you can set the updated. So this is also very good benefit. So you can make use of it. Reason: suppose you send a pivot table data report to the client. So updated the data. What happens? You forget the refreshing, right? But when you send the pivot report, when client opens in the system, then automatically he will see the refreshing data. That is the option we have. But as and when you update the data, you don't see the refresh value immediately. This is very, very important. Then range selection, the pivot table. Two ways you can select the range, right? So range data selection, by default, people manually they select. Okay, so manual select for the pivot table. You need to extend or compress the range every time when you give the data. Manually to resize the selection. That's one option. The second option, the second, see, suppose I create the pivot table. Okay, so I'll tell you what is this. Okay, so I create the pivot table. Now suppose I update the data here. So update the data for 2001. New line added. Now when you go to the pivot table and refresh here, so it will not work. Suppose I can say what is the report here. So middle north. So yeah. So I can say like Excel. So for the identification. So you see here we can, when you refresh you cannot see that because this source data change it when you get to change the data source. So we see here. I'll go here. See here, this is a new data. It is not a part of it. This is a thing we need to do manually. Select this. It will otherwise it will not be selected by default. The basic when we do the pivot table. But this is also risk. Suppose if data is updated, new data, but not change the data source. It will not be part of your, see now 2000 data, it is not a part of it, right? So we need to do manually, we need to extend. That is called change the data source. People do this kind of manual work also, but it's a risk. Any time if you forget, your report's gone. Okay, so this also we need to take care while doing the pivot table. But what is the solution? Yes, we know the formula, through that we can do this dynamic. So this we can do through formula. Uh, or we can do convert data in table. So when you get the convert the data into table, so it will take automatically. Two ways. So suppose, see, this is a convert to table, create table, right? My data, full data is converted to table. Okay, so this two ways we can insert and a table. Where is that table? I think it's already table. Okay, I converted range. So again insert. You can see the manual thing is a table, right? So click insert and the same. Otherwise, control T. So when you this automatically by default data will be selected. Okay. So here when checkbox my headers has my table has header. That means header always will be in the first, right? So it will, suppose if you don't check this, automatically enters the data only, not header. So always to give always this here. Now this we'll see this header. Now this table image by default is a table 2, right? So I can change say p data underscores, only one node should be there, p data, right? Now, so when I create the pivot table, suppose I create the pivot table for this the pivot table. So what is the name here? P table. So name ranges can be taken from the by pressing F3 also. So this is not okay. So when you go here on the data and select here, see, when you select what is not taking here, okay. What is happening here? No, table conversion was not happening. Why is here? P data is there. So so convert insert pivot table. P what is the name? P data. Okay, I have given P table. So P data. So automatically it will take here. Okay, name table name I have taken, right? So suppose I had taken month and say net sales. We got the pivot table, right? Now this is a table format. Now we can see here I copy paste and change this thing. So, so here like now till now it is data not refreshed. Now I can see the refresh. We can see the VB also. But I am not I extend the pivot dot source. So this I have not done. Automatically it's taking because the pivot table data is there. That's why table range like this. Okay. So with this we can make the table dynamic. Through these options we can make the dynamic pivot table range. Okay. So this is very important. Convert, not cover, sorry. Convert. Convert the data into table or insert. Uh, uh, um, so three formula, sorry. This one. Through formula or like based on the you know table format, we can make it. This is very important. Got it? Got it? So till here, any questions? Okay. Anyway, I think you are doing this pivot table, right? Now, so table creations, two ways you can do. Insert pivot table on recommended pivot tables. Actually, recommended pivot tables is very helpful. We can make use of it. Reason is, suppose by looking at the data, what how many types of pivot tables you can do. We can, so unless like we need to know before only what is information that we need. Instead of this, you instead of create pivot table, instead of pivot table, recommended pivot tables are there. So this is probably like 2016 onwards there. Before that is not there. Okay. So when you go the recommended pivot tables, see all the pivot tables that are required for the data. So it will show you as here. Means see sum of net sales by region, sum of profit or loss by region. So like this. So just to go through like what are the things we can do this. Suppose select this and give OK. Right? So automatically in the new sheet pivot table is created. One day just like a matter of few seconds. That's all. Otherwise, you need to go insert and drag the rows and the values you need to do it. Okay. Otherwise, straight away by selecting, you can get the pivot table in a fraction of seconds. So that is the one option. But yes, I don't want to depend on the pivot recommended. So whatever the you need the pivot table, like, what are the basis you can do it. Okay. So that is like the creation of the pivot tables. So these are the things we need to remember when you create the pivot tables. The basic thing, very important. This creation of pivot tables, do's and don'ts, benefits, everything is there. So these are the things. See, whatever any time, whenever it is easy. Also, that complexity also tag it to that, but you need to aware of that. Else, you'll be lost. So very careful. We'll see. Now, what are the features we on the basic level? There are a lot of things are there in the pivot tables, not a small thing. But we'll discuss these things in the what are the things we can do. We can discuss in this. Okay. So what are the sorting data we can do it, and calculations also we can do, I will do that. Okay. Then in the top 10, top 5 customers or the business details, top end customers, not top end numbers, we can do it. Okay. Then filters or slicers. You heard this filter slicers? No, filter means this. So I can go and filter it. Okay. Then suppose here like product. If I give the filters, so this normally we do, we know this. Okay. Then we have the slicers also. So this is very easy, benefit. This we'll discuss this. Okay. Very interesting. This very nice. Then formatting also we do. What are the formattings? Second number format you can do this. And the refresh and auto refresh that I discussed here, right? So refresh, auto refresh, that option you can discuss it. Drill down or double click. So you must be knowing like when I have the private table, suppose what are the details of this Excel. So we need to double click, automatically details come automatic. So these are this is nothing but drill down. See, this is called as a drill down, right? Then repeat label item. So we'll see this also. Means suppose the pivot table and we have the product here. Suppose like this. Okay. So when you go to design and this thing, so page layout is a tabular. Suppose here see here like a blank, right? So how can you fill this up? Okay. This repeat item. You are aware of this? Okay. This also we can see. See, I don't know this. Suppose for other calculations or something, I need to know this, right? So that's the reason, like I want this, repeat labels. I need it. So example, like I'll say this. Suppose I need middle first car. Suppose this is one of this is the information I have on the dashboard. Right. So what is the value for this? So this how can you do it? Because say fast car, okay. Suppose this item, right? Suppose if you do the concatenate, so concatenate you cannot do it now. See here on side here this, but here we can see. So this is not there. So had this been there here, automatically I can do the concatenate of this. So suppose in the report I can get that through pivot table. Sorry, from the pivot table through VLOOKUP I can do it. But otherwise also can get, but in case it's required, is repeat data also required. Otherwise, why would they give those option? So earlier, like 2010 also, this is not there, but later they introduced this. Okay, so that also can this, and report pages. Report pages means suppose here we have a pivot table, product wise pivot table. So how many products are there? So suppose there are 3 products are there. Now each product I would see, if you want, I can like select like this, each pivot, right? Like this. Now this pivot table, suppose 100 products are there. 100 pivot tables require the page wise. So how do you do that? So manually it is very time taking and the repeated task. And this individual pivot tables should I need to get create pivot table in this name in the sheet, separate sheet. Like this, for 3 products, I need to create three sheets, and I give the pivot table and the respective product wise, maybe customers wise. That I need to send to the customer. 100 customers are there, 100 pivot tables I need to create, and I send to customers. These are suppose daily task. So, are you interested to how do you create the pivot tables, like customer wise? Difficult, right? So we have the option, like no macro also, but we have I have option in Excel. So the pivot table you can do it. Just one single click. So 100 customers pivot tables will be created in 15-20 seconds. Depends on data. Okay. So that also we have. So these are the main options that day to day we will be doing this. Okay. So these all the things will be covering, but not only this, under selection we can do a lot of things. Yeah. But this is the main things we need to know without confusion. Very very important, because as I said in the beginning, this is a danger when you not on the alert. Because I saw a lot of escalations because of, like small things, not selecting selection of the range, so not refreshing all that. See, client can refresh, it will work, but they don't see, they want reason to escalate, right? The refreshing is not refresh. Pivot refreshing is not their job, correct? Then pivot chart. If I forgot to mention this. So pivot charts also we can do this. So unless data refresh, you are chart will be wrong. So the data selection, pivot refresh, very very important thing. Okay. So these are the things we need to discuss, but we need to remember things. Okay. Now, so the first thing is, like as I said, so I'll you know so yes, I'll take normal thing. I don't want. Okay, this is a pivot table, data. So once if we do normal pivot table, okay, so we'll go to insert and click the pivot table. I always, prefer this actually, okay, because why we want to use a formula in this to cover the range, all that. So anyway, depends, how we are comfortable. Now he see here, we need to know the important things. Now select range or table. Okay, so after inserting, so we need to get the window pop up. We need to do the manual selection. This is a manual work. When you go this option, automatically every time you extend the range. Then through range also can do it. See, table is the table conversion. Range is for the name ranges. Otherwise, direct manual selection. Three selections are there in this. One is manual selection, then table name or range name. Table name, just I shown that, right? Create right of this range. We need to name ranges we create through formula. That's a dynamic. We saw that. Anyway, we'll do that again. So then manual selection this. So this is manual. This cannot be autos size the data automatically. This is an important thing. Clear this. Now use external data source. Suppose you sometimes you need to connect from the different data sources. Okay. So from the see here the connections of that. It's a workbook network and so connection to file the other computers on that. Okay. So then the table is also there. We can based on the tables you can get, but we'll not get into this at this point of time. We'll well, no, in time pivot table, then we'll need to go this in. Higher, you can say higher advanced version of this, not advanced, higher advanced version. At this point of time, we don't need to get into that. Okay. So this external also we don't do this now. Okay. So suppose like now MS access we have the data, right? Other with that we need to connect. We need to do the pivot tables. Okay. Now, so use workbooks data model. This is when you use this data model created, then only you can it's grayed out because we have not connected data from outside. That's the reason this is not activated. Okay. So that is the reason. Just for your information. Okay. What is this things all about? This other than Excel, this is when data models be created, then this will be activated. Then, so where you need to give the pivot table, whether new worksheet or existing worksheet. Now, already I selected and go insert. Then, then only I by default see K6 is selected. Suppose I want K1. Yes, you can select it. Now, suppose you don't select this, so normally go and insert pivot table. So new sheet will be there here because I selected data. In the data we cannot create pivot table, so automatically it will go new workbook. Then so now I don't want new workbook. I want in this workbook only means so select this and select the location. This what see in the same workbook also we have we see the so tab name also here. Okay. Suppose new workbook, so we will create it automatically. See, then here this is existing workbook. Wherever you want, this is also important. Okay. Now this add this data in the model because data model will be there here. It's here. Suppose if this once if you do the data model, then you can. This data model is a big concept, not at this point of time. This is link to this Power BI functions like this. Okay, so data model will be used we have the big data more than 1 million rows. So up to 1 lakh we can do this, right? So more than 1 lakh we can use this, but it will not be stored in Excel. But 1 lakh you can, what are the summarization we want to do? We need to get this data into data model, they can do it. So we are not doing this now this point of time also because when we know everything in Excel, then we'll have to go for all this. Okay, but these are the features we have in this pivot table. We should know. Suppose someone will ask, what is this? What is Excel external database? What is our data model? This data model always please remember when you have that. See, for this small data also you can, but this will be used only for big data kind. More than 10 lakh crores we will use this. Okay. After this, we like to give the okay. So this is the what do you call pivot frame or okay pivot frame we call this. Okay. In this frame, this is a blank. Okay. So name will pivot name will be there by default pivot 1, 2, 3, 4 by default it will come because pivot table name should be there. But if you want, we can change it. Like this here, pivot name, see, pivot name table. So if I want, I can change this also. we can change this. See here, automatically changed. Okay, so uh, Power BI, I think you heard of this. Power BI exactly like this. So this all like on the columns. In the column like we need to drag and drop. That's all. Drag and drop. That's a pivot table, and the Power BI also same. But see, as I told earlier, here only aggregations you can do. But if anything you want, you cannot do here the pivot table. But Power BI, we have like double than this Excel formula we have there. That we call this a DAX formulas. Okay, so data analysis expressions. DAX means data analysis expressions. Okay. So this you can move this around. So it is like this. Okay. So these are the columns. It will be placed here. Then four quadrants which need to know important thing. Always these values will have to put values column into this where you expecting for the calculations aggregations. So text, can we put text means you can put text, but only count will come, not see what you what calculation you do in the by text. You cannot do anything, right? So suppose yeah, only count will get. For text count you can do, right? That's the reason. But values if you put here, so some count, maximum, average, everything we can represent. Okay. This always a text related. So okay, suppose can we put the name numbers here? Yes, we put, but this will not be used for the calculations like this. Okay. Now column is the column wise like, headers information can put. Suppose we like create a matrix, right? So here the product is there. So reasons. So you can do the product here. See here, products, column is. Suppose reason is this. Sorry, reason product is this. See here, this is a matrix. Okay. This is a column wise, row wise. Then value is blank, so we can put the values here for the calculations. Suppose if you want to put the count the number, so this also see we have the aggregations here. Uh, So we have the aggregations here. See, okay. Suppose you can count. You can do the count also for this. But when you put any text inside, automatically that will be aggregations. See here. But here we cannot put any calculations. Say suppose sum you do. So definitely zero. We cannot do anything. Suppose sometimes like people will do this. So they come back like without observing. So I did the pivot table. I am getting zero. Why? Means like we put a text here. Okay. They come back say no the numbers only. That means numbers you put on the don't use the calculations means that numbers is in the text format. That's the reason. Okay. So now this is for the filter place. This one. Okay. So all the filters will be there here. This. So in the filter we have the one more option called multiple selection. Suppose if you don't do this, so only one selection you can do. That's all. Multi-selection you can do. Suppose I want to report for this two products. We can do this. We cannot do this. If we want, select this. I can see here. Two products I want. You'll get information for the two products like this. Okay. So this is how of the structure. So this is how it will work. this four quadrants, which one you put where is important. Based on the analysis, you can put this data. Okay. Suppose I put here. Sorry. Month here. Sorry. What is this? Mm, Okay. See here years, and suppose reason is biotech is that. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what is this. Reason I can put here. See here. So here and reason the matrix can do it. Okay. Then what are the analysis can do in this? Then multiple lessons you can do it. Multiple lessons is reason, and also I want product also. So here product and reason like this. So multiple thing also can do this. Okay. Now that's about how to create the pivot tables. Then we'll see that what is the sorting about. So till here clear, sir. Okay. Okay. Now see suppose. Okay. I'll come back to the normal pivot table. So we'll do the sorting. Sorting is normally we do the sorting here. This we know this, right? Now this sorting is in a way you can see here, but I want to sort this also. Suppose amounts is sort in the ascending order, descending order. We need to place in the value, right? See, we cannot place here. Place here in the value in the pivot table. Just right click it. Then you can do the sorting. Then it's the smallest to largest, largest to smallest. Suppose I want to descend order. See here. Now see largest to smallest. So this is a one sorting we can do it. One is this, one is this. Now suppose I can I'll take this. So pivot table and filters. So I don't want this. I want salesman. Salesman on the one people. Okay. Salesman. Number cut. Okay. Only this up. Okay. This small letters. But why salesman? Oh, sorry. Why I am surprised why salesman only. Okay. So here. The salesman only with 4 people. Okay, no problem. Okay, now I see. Now I want the top 2 people. Top 2. So what can do here? Just select here. Okay. So click on this value filter. Filters, right? Now see here, how can you see the filter? Equals, does not equals. Names also can see the options, right? Now depend on all that. But last one is see top 10, right? But by default, top 10. But suppose I want top 2 values. Okay. So see here, top bottom. Okay. Top or bottom, what I can select here. Then here the why item you want a percentage sum, whatever you want. But I want item, right? Because we cannot see here like values, right? Now, so here only this. So suppose we multi columns will there, right? Suppose sales, purchase, like profit, margin, all that. So on what basis you went to top 10 or top 2, top 3? Since I have only one, we can see only one here. Okay, then okay. See, only top 2 will be there. Anytime when you refresh automatically, top 2 will be refreshed here. Unless you go and change it, it will not change. Suppose I want to bottom 2, right? So I can go on the bottom 2 here. Yes, these are the bottom 2. So that is like say the sorting data. So sorting data on the top numbers. But top and bottom both will do, but name is given top numbers. Then filters normally we know the filter, right? Like this you can see here. But I'll top and see here clear filters, right? This one. So click this, so automatically filter will be cleared. Now normally we do those filters like this. When you select automatically, will the filtering is this. This is easy. Then filters can be done through slicers. That is my focus now. Okay. So click on the pivot table anywhere. Okay. So click on the analyze. Then we can see the insert slicer. Very important. When you click slicer, you can pivot table already will be there here. Okay. In the slicers, what we need to slicer, suppose here salesperson name, but I want reason wise for the day. As of now, all the reasons, right? Now I have this reason wise I need to do. By default, all the reasons are there. Now I want fully Excel. See here, only one. Now suppose Middle East. What is the thing? North. VBA. Like this. Suppose if you don't want to filters, I want to show everything. See here, click. It will be there. Now this is like slicer, but this also like we format it. We can format it. Okay. So as and when you click, you can see the pivotal options, right? Like this, when you click here, I will get this slicer tools. Click on this and see first thing is column, right? So I don't want this. I want horizontal, right? So how many I need to fold, right? So click this and see here and place here. I'll move this. I need this. Okay. Now one more slicer I want. Analyze. Go to slicer. So I want month. Okay. Now see this is a month. So keep like this. Now you play the data what you want. Suppose January, north, these are details. Suppose February, north, west, these are details. Middle, whatever you want, based on the entire thing, one more slicer. All the slicer can do it. Okay. So select here. So analyze slices. So month is there. So sales smalls so there. Then region, product. Okay. Then this also there. Now see, I remove filters. These are the thing, entire details. Right. Now, I want, so January, meet, so two are there. Okay, I don't want this. Okay, so I'll delete this. Okay. Like product. Okay, then fast car. So this January, this thing, the details is this. Okay, so this is a slicer, right? Now this slice also this slicer also can get do the format. So by default, we can go to slicer tools and they can see the by default features. Okay, so suppose like whatever the format you want, you can get this here. See here. So this is different than this. So we can whatever the way you want, you can get formatted. See, like this. No, I suppose you don't like this is like normal way default, but I don't like. Okay, I want to create my new style. So new style. So header is what? Click here, then go to a format. Now the format I my fill is like I blue or like right. Font I want white. This is the way I want the header, right? Then give OK. So then go to this thing, go here, see here, new one, right? So select this, see here, this I can get this now. See now, suppose this also I want to change. So again go to slicer. This you can go to the custom. See here, reason. So yeah, so that's how you need to go through this. What are the format you want to read through, and you can do this. Okay, very. If you want to customize thing, you can do it. Suppose by default, if you want this uh, header, right? So you created this, right? So you can select set default style like this. You can do this. Okay. Now suppose sometimes I don't want this header. Unnecessary place, right? See, by saying this, I can see this product. This by saying this, I can reason slicers. Why would I need to keep this, right? No. So right click. So right click. See here. No slicer settings. Okay. See here in this we can select display header by default this. So you can if you want you can change this, or if you don't want the header, remove it. Then give OK. So automatically see header is gone. Now it is nice for me for the reporting. So I'll place it here. That's all. So based on the selection, like yes, data will be selected. So I'll remove all this. One more thing. Mm, mm, very good. I need to put this back. So this is this. Continue that. Yeah. Why this is not working? Oh, only one. So this I need to So at the the settings you can change it, suppose what you want in this. So you can do this. Suppose by default is assigned as there in this, right? How you want design. Suppose see here I give last number, right? I want to be starting. That means this is on the top lecture test will be here, right? So I don't want to go drag every time into select, right? Recent dates in the request. So is to put like descent order, then keep okay. So now see latest dates I can give the filter in this say the change. Okay? So like this. So this is a slice of pretty much like when you go through free when you go through this, you'll see where you can place this. Okay, so this slicer can be, suppose you have the multiple pivot tables. When you click here, all pivot tables will be affected. Not only this. Yeah. So if you don't want this effect, so automatically you can restrict also. So this is the report connections. So I have only one pivot table. Suppose I have one more pivot table I create like this. So instead of salesman, I can give the reason, right? So I go through no. So also no, right? Now suppose you see here. So when you click product, this will be always will be affected, correct? Because this cells are linked to any field, right? Now, when you click this, I don't want to get this pivot table, the reason pivot table. So click this, right click, right click. So go to report connections. Click this. So I don't want say pivot table name should be created. That's reason we don't know this. Okay. Now what I do, select here my pivot table name is 21. I cannot make out. So this is a reason. So this is a reason like it is REGIO correct. Okay. This is a reason pivot table. Then this is salesman. So by default pivot table name difficult to identify. Okay. So right click. So report connections. Then see reason salesman. When you click this, I don't want to affect this salesman. So I unchecked. Then okay. Now when you click this reason, okay, I wrongly understand. Okay. So report connections. This is a sale. This is the reason the salesman. Okay. So this should not be affected. Okay. This is the reason. There is a reason. Okay. Now, when you click this, see, salesman will be affected, but this will not affect. Okay. This is no change at all. See, like this. Suppose when suppose date is there. Date also I don't want to get effect. You can do this also. Okay. So this report connection is very, very important for this reason. Okay. So this is how the slicers can be used. Very, very important, the slicers. Normally filters only, but filters not that dynamic. Slicers dynamic. 2000s before, when slicers not introduced, we used to do this macro basis. Now macro is built in this. Okay. Now format is like, we know this is very very easy. I don't need to talk about the format everything. I'll talk to this later. It is not important. Uh, Refresh, auto refresh there. So I want to give this option. See here, uh, right click. This is got pivot options. Okay. Say here you can go to options or right click under pivot options. Okay. Now in this, okay. So when you go to data, see here, refresh data when open the file. By default, it will be unchecked. By default, unchecked. Now, suppose I check this, okay? Then okay. Why this is maybe data refresh. Now, see, I change the data here. What is the pivot table person? Salesman. Salesman name will change. So this three I'll change. Salesman is this, okay? Um, A, B, C, D, E, okay? These are the names report. So I saved the file. Okay. Now when you go here, this not refreshed. Okay. Unless we refresh, it will not change. Suppose I send it to you like this. Okay. So my work is over. I left over the day. When you open, report not changed. You'll get angry, right? Now when you open this file, this is only right. Maybe this is place is not there. Yeah. So let me check again what is there now. The data, refresh data when okay. Then we'll see that is change the data source. Okay, okay, no problem. Oh, one more thing, sorry. This is not dynamic. Okay, that's the reason I'm not refreshed. So when you okay. So just let me know when you see. Okay. Hmm? Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah. No. Share. Okay, I'll share again. Can you see? No. Now, see here, range 469 only. The range selection only 469th row. So this should go, data should get extend. So select here, say 472. This we need to dynamic, but we'll see that. Okay. So data selected, uh, and the salesperson see, we don't see any change here, right? Okay. Now I close this file, saved and closed. Then I opened again file. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 So this table looks, uh, maybe this all the tables are disturbing. So I'll say this. Okay. Now, so I'll just let me see once again. So pivot table. So change the data source. See, I selected 469. So 472 is selected. Just give OK. Okay. So slides as you can see here. Uh, okay. Okay. So then we'll see tomorrow this. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So then we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay.